Are you dealing with head forward posture? Maybe a family member, a spouse, a friend has talked about you walking with your head out in front of your chest. Are you starting to get neck pain on the back side of your neck, down maybe between the shoulder blades, and you tried everything to solve that problem? Today, I'm going to talk about the reasons why you have that head forward posture, and one is probably going to surprise you, and a few things you can do to correct that situation. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the Muscle Repair Shop. My name is Butch Faust. I'm a functional massage therapist, and today I want to talk about head forward posture. We see it all the time, and what's becoming sadder and sadder is that we see it amongst younger people as well. I'm going to share with you in this video a secret, not right now though, of what causes most people to walk with head forward posture, and it's probably going to surprise you. So let's get started. You see yourself standing in the mirror, or someone's talking to you and your head is out here. Maybe your shoulders are starting to round this way. Now, most people equate that with the aging process, but I'm here to tell you that that's not necessarily an aging thing. Because if you think about sitting behind a desk with a computer, many times we'll sit with our backs kind of leaning against the top, the head is slightly forward, and our hands are out on a keyboard working. Notice the curve here in my chest, notice where my head is, and if I bring my back up straight, look at the positioning that I'm in here. Well, over time, doing that day after day, your body starts to get adjusted to being in this position. And as you age, 40s, 50s, 60s, you'll start to develop a hump in your back. More importantly, you'll start to see that your head is out in front of your chest, which means that as you walk and as you move, you're leading with your nose and not your belly button. Now, for most of you, you'll go to physical therapy, you'll go to trainers, you'll work on things on your own, and the idea is that if I can somehow pull my shoulders back, that's going to allow me to stand up much straighter. And everybody will go and work on the back side of your body because that's where the pain is. But I'm here to tell you that is a short-term fix at best, because if you try to hold this for long periods of time as you're standing, the muscles on the back side of your neck or on the back side of your back is going to actually fatigue out. That's going to cause the muscles there to get tighter, causing compression on the spine and compression on the neck, which is the cervical spine, which can create problems down the road such as pinched nerves, bulging disc, even herniated disc over time. Not only that, you're always in a fatigue mode because you're fighting. In other words, as I'm pulling my shoulders back, if the muscles out here are tight, the muscles out here are tight, it's almost like someone has a rope pulling my shoulders this way as I'm trying to pull back. Well, I don't have to tell you that over time, if someone's pulling a rope to pull my shoulders here and I'm trying to pull back on my own, I'm just going to fatigue out. Bottom line. So what we want to do is to be able to get the outside chest muscles here to free back up, and then that's going to allow the shoulders to come back with no effort at all. We're going to learn how to open these muscles up here, and by doing that, that's going to allow my head to come back up with no effort at all. So the one thing to keep in mind is that for every inch my head goes forward this way, the pressure back here is going to increase by 10 pounds. So I'll give you some numbers. Your head weighs about 10 to 12 pounds as it sits on top of your shoulders. Every inch it goes forward, let's say it goes forward 2 inches, you can add a minimally 20 pounds of pressure to the back of your neck in between your shoulder blades. No wonder you're so tired and pained at the end of the day, right? That's where a lot of this starts. So sitting in a desk chair where you're leaning back and in a reclined position sets off head forward posture, regardless of your age. Sitting in a car with the seat in a reclined position sets off head forward posture, regardless of your age. Sitting in a recliner for long periods of time, recline back while you may feel comfortable if you look at your body as you're watching TV, you're starting and setting off head forward posture in that position as well. So we want to reverse those. And that doesn't mean you have to stop doing all those things. You have a job, you have a car, you have a recliner, I'm sure. But understand how to change that in your body. So one of the first things you can do is when you're sitting in your chair, about every hour, take a couple of minute break, take your hands underneath your chin here, breathe out and feel the weight of your head in your hand. Now, when you do this, don't use the muscles on the back of your neck to lift your head up. Doing this is not going to solve this problem, okay? Doing this is going to make it worse. What we want to do here is take the hands and gently lift up our head just enough we start to feel a little bit of a pull here, but not enough that I can't breathe out as I'm pushing my head up with my hands. Breathe out as you're lifting your head up like this. Allow the muscles here to relax. Now you want to repeat this 10 times. The reason for the 10 times is that what you're doing is you're showing the brain that this movement didn't kill you or tear something. That's the whole key behind that. Secondly, what we want to do now is we want to work on the outside chest. Now, you can get in any door frame in your office, at your house, the corner of a building. My gosh, I've stopped on the highway traveling and did it on a corner of a rest area where I would put my hand behind my head. My elbow is up on the edge of the doorway. And what I want to do is use my feet, not twist my body, because if I twist my body, I'm going to get a pain in the rib cage, or I'm going to push forward and get a pain on the back of my shoulder. What I want to do here is use my feet and rotate my body. In this case, I'm using my right arm, rotate my body to the left. And as I do that, again, I want to just start to feel the pull here, just enough I can feel it, but not so much I can't breathe out. So as I rotate my body to the left here, I can now breathe out and allow this muscle to relax and let go. And again, you're going to do this 10 times to show the brain it's safe to let that go. Now, I promise you a surprise, and I want to talk to you about that today, and it always blows people's minds when I talk about that. The biggest cause of head forward posture for most people is the way they walk. And the way they walk is they walk without bending their ankles, and they walk without bending their feet. Well, now each foot has 33 joints in that foot. When you walk, especially if you're wearing walking shoes, running shoes, or most shoes that are made today, the shoe does not bend in the middle. And so what you want a shoe to do is to bend in the middle. However, if it has thick soles, if it has arch supports and heel supports, which I know we've been told forever will help your foot, the reality is it prevents the ankle from bending. All right? So when the ankle can't bend, now when you propel yourself walking, you're actually propelling yourself from the front of your thighs. What that does when these get tight from walking is it causes the pelvis to tilt forward, and look where my torso goes, look where my head is, because my pelvis tilted forward because of the way I'm walking. So the first thing you want to do is to do the calf stretch. And the calf stretch, I've shown this to you in other videos as well, but I'm going to show you here today, is you can sit on the floor with your hips and back against the wall, or you could sit in a hardback chair like a dining room chair with one leg up on an ottoman. Take something like a yoga strap, a rope, anything that's not elastic. I typically use a yoga strap that's about 8 foot long. You can get them anywhere online. But use that strap, and you're gonna actually take that strap, place it around the ball of your foot, and you're gonna have your legs straight out. Don't use your leg muscles. Keep your body 90 degrees to your leg, and you're going to pull your toes back towards you. Hold for the 5 seconds as you breathe out. Repeat that 10 times. That's going to get the 2 middle calf muscles. Now, most people think their calf is made up of one muscle. And you'll see them. They'll lean against the wall. They'll drop their heel off of a step. They'll stand on a slant board. That's an Achilles tendon stretch. That's not a calf stretch. Then, once you've done that stretch with your calves, roll your foot inward, the whole leg, so your foot is rolling inward. Repeat the same stretch, but you're going to feel the stretch more on the outside of your calf. Finally, after you do the tendon that way, roll the whole leg so that the foot goes outward. Repeat the stretch again to get the inside calf muscle. Now here's the thing to keep in mind, is that when you look at your calves and your ankles, three things happen here at this location. Number one, it helps to move your foot vertically for walking and running. It also helps your foot to move laterally for balance and control as the gradation of the ground changes. And number three, it helps in rotation. So if you're a golfer, you're a tennis player, a baseball player, a football player, a pickleball player, the beauty of it is that as you move your body, rotating your body, the rotation is not in your hips. Now, most people would disagree with me. They would say, oh, no, the rotation is in your hips. Then why do you have two bones in your lower leg with all these muscles if the rotation is only in the hips? The rotation has to start at the ankle and go up. You'll go up through the four calf muscles, the shin muscles. There's muscles in between the two bones in the lower leg. The thigh is going to have three hamstrings back there that have to work with the calf muscles in rotation. And then you get to the hips for the rotation. I'm telling you this because all this is important as you move to not to have to lead with your nose. Once your calf muscles are stretched out, once the muscles on the front of your neck are stretched out, and once the muscles on the outside of your chest is stretched out, or should I say taking the tension out of all these places, now when you stand up, you can stand up straight with no effort. Now, many times you'll see older people when they're trying to walk, they are fatiguing out pretty quickly. And you go, my gosh, how can grandma and grandpa be that tired? But the reality is when these muscles are tight, it's like having two children, one on each ankle, dragging along with each step that you take, and it just tires you out after a while. For younger people, it's going to lead to back issues, neck issues, hip issues as you get into your 40s, 50s, and 60s. You can stop it now and go from there. So let's go back to the shoes for a minute. And I talked about a little bit, so I'm not going to touch on this for just a tad. But when you wear a shoe with thick soles, keep in mind on the bottom of your feet you have 272 nerve endings. And those nerve endings send messages to the brain that tells the brain when the gradation of the ground changes so that you don't fall. So if you have a fear of falling but you get thicker sole shoes, you just increased your risk of falling. Arch supports. Arch supports do stop sore arches. But the reason the arches are sore is because they are tight and could be weak. So when you put an arch support in, it causes the muscles to atrophy and it causes pain when you try to walk barefoot on a hard surface. I'm over 60 years old. I walk on hard surfaces barefoot all the time without foot pain. And so when you can take these things into consideration and you start making the changes in stretching out the front of your neck, stretching out the outside of your chest, stretching out your calves, now we can start talking about in the next video, how do you walk in this new position so that now you can start to change what happens. So if this is of help to you, please like down below, share this with your friends, add comments, be sure to subscribe because like I said, the more people we get to subscribe, the better we can make these videos. But your comments are really important. I want to know, how are you coming along with this? I don't care if you've asked a question before, ask it again, because the important part here is that you understand how to solve the problems with your body. And the thing that we're doing here with the stretch and release technique is we're understanding the emotional role of the muscles from the brain and how that affects your stiffness as you live through your life, regardless of your age. All right? So after that, see ya.